Toucannon unleashes the drill peck, forcing the first protection of the game, and rather than see the farm down, here comes Vigaroth, and the alarm bells start to ring as the opponent is not pivoting out. We invest the protect shield, shielding up the icicle sphere. The opponent remains on the screen. Vigaroth takes the initiative, fires off the body slam. Body slam, not quite lethal, but the opponent on fractional HP, and you can see why they stayed in. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that I return to Shoutcast. It's been a hot minute. Well, actually, it's been 6 months since I last Shoutcast. If I'm rusty, well, let's be honest, I'm always pretty shambolic, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Today's battles have been submitted to the channel by my friend Garrycabbage, and he is running, of course, a triple shadow team, sticking with the theme of the channel, so you already know we're going to have all kinds of crazy shenanigans. Today's featured Pokemon is going to be the former King of the Fiend Cup, Vigoroth. I say former, as nowadays not many people use it, but let me tell you, now the Shadow's been released, it's still as viable as ever, as so many people run so many normal types, and Vigoroth essentially beats all the other normals. Let's keep the intro short and sweet, and without any further ado, let's get into the battles! And in game 1, we see a battle of flying types where Toucannon will be favoured. Toucannon has the higher attack stat, they're using the same moveset, so of course Toucannon is always going to win any shielding scenario, whether that be a 0, 1 or 2. Of course, Jamie Finn is an expert in this field. I'm kidding, but you can see there we were able to win charge attack priority, and this is not IV dependent. Toucannon will just continue to win this over and over again. The opponent all down 1 protect shield. Are they willing to go down 2? They're actually not. They actually bank the move, catch onto Fur a blink, and you might miss it as Vigoroth gives them the absolute beatdown, deleting them in the blink of an eye. Back out comes Firo. Firo is able to win charge attack priority against Vigoroth, but Vigoroth bulky enough to withstand the drill peck and return fire with a brick break. Brick break hits for neutral, debuffs their attack. The opponent reset that debuff, send out the snail. We show him Quagsire, and this game is signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm not entirely sure why the opponent's playing it out. What they're going to do to Quagsire, overheat, rock tomb, you name it, whatever they throw, it won't be enough. The opponent tank the charge move, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Cradilly, the Pokemon that thinks is the king of the debuff, but Toucannon going to be able to debuff first, firing off the Beak Blast. Beak Blast should be forcing, oh shit, I was going to say the first protection, the opponent fucked about, they found out. Oh my god, that was a huge boom, I was not expecting that. The opponent sends out Furret, they remain on the screen, clearly they're double weak or triple weak to fighting, I should say. That was a very quick battle, and we're going to move swiftly on. Oof, Gary, what are you doing to me, buddy? It's been a hot minute since I've shoutcast, and these battles are crazy quick. In this battle, we saw a pretty dreadful lead. However, Vigoroth might be able to flip switch, and essentially I think flip switch, win the game. Whilst Toucannon might have an absolutely atrocious matchup into the snail, Quagsire is one of its very hardest counters, completely walling the moveset. The opponent desperate to keep that alignment, but it simply will not happen. Vigoroth rolling back the years here and putting in a vintage performance on the save switch, able to realign, and sometimes alignment's all you need to win a battle. Out comes Clodsire, so unfortunately Toucannon doesn't really have anywhere to run, anywhere to hide, assuming they're on Stone Edge. Let's be honest, even if they're on Sludge Bomb, Toucannon cannot tank a hit for shit. Toucannon, unfortunately, isn't going to be getting any booms in this battle. Sacrifice to the Pokeos. There is the Stone Edge, a very easy one-hit KO, but Quagsire should be able to 1v2. Clodsire gonna fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake has been buffed this season, but simply not gonna cut it. Back out comes the Fire Snail. We fire off the Aquatail. Aquatail, double super effective. There's a one-hit KO. Back out comes Clodsire. The opponent sees the writing on the wall. Shout out home size Henry, and we take yet another very quick dub. In the next battle, we see the return of the flying type lead, and Toucannon once again looks to have its wicked way, forcing the first protection of the game. The last opponent looked to catch out. Let's see if this opponent goes to the same strategy. However, Toucannon hits insanely hard, so even if they do make a catch, which they do, it's kind of going to do massive damage. The opponent catches onto Swampert. Swampert instantly gets put below the half health range. We rebank a charge move, catch onto Vigoroth, and we are going to take a 1 counter running start. I'm not entirely sure why the opponent sludged there. Potentially they were thinking, we're going to catch out on something that does resist water. I'm guessing that was the strategy. However, Sludge didn't do much of anything, and you can see Vigoroth now completely running away with the game. Goes to the one shield, full counter farm down. I see a rollout user. It's Dunsparce in the back, and it's safe to say this game is over. We make the world's most unnecessary catch. Tell me it's a drill run. Oh, Gary, you absolute savage. When have you ever seen Toucannon tank a charge move so well? Flying, of course, double resist ground. Oh man, that was savage. In the next battle, this time we see Dunsparce in the lead position. We see a save switch into Quagsire, And we see another trainer of culture also running Vigaroth, but ours is better, of course. It is the Shadow variant. We can see some of Gary's friends doing their absolute best to sabotage his battle, spamming him with a million messages, but Gary, undeterred, fires off yet another Aqua Tail, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. I think we're about to see why the Shadow variant of Vigoroth is better, as I expected. Body Slam simply not going to cut in this. It's going to force the opponent to dump the remainder of the energy. I love that no shield. This sets up a very nice peck farm down for Toucannon. Toucannon gets the perfect farm down. Back out comes Dunsparce. Opponent all down one Protect Shield. Are they willing to shield again? They are not. Oof, massive damage. Quick switch into Vigoroth. An attempted snipe down. Snipe attempt unsuccessful. And out comes Blaziken. Thankfully, this Blaziken opted in for the quicker energy generation of Ember, but unfortunately for them, despite that quick energy generation, they will not reach free charge move as Vigoroth is going to be able to double shield, fully counter farm down, give the opponent an absolute beat down. Back out comes Dunsparce. We go for the bad manners, no bubble the brick break, and I don't even think we're in drill run range. The opponent fires off the drill run, Shadow Vigoroth, able to withstand the damage, fire off yet another brick break, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. I'm sure a lot of you would have thought, what an absolute nonsense clickbait title, as Vigoroth is useless nowadays. But it's safe to say, in the first few battles, Vigoroth has absolutely been popping off and is back to its former glory. That cheeky little monkey that is super annoying. Returning to the commentary, we saw the cow in the lead. The opponent say switched into their own monkey. As a counter swap for our Quagsire, we invest to Protect Shield, shielding up the Trailblaze and look to fire off back-to-back Aqua Tails and try and force both Protect Shields of the opponent, or just take back switch. The opponent actually concede a farm down, which works for us as switch advantage is very, very important. It makes sense why the opponent didn't shield. As I've got Toucannon in the back, a very shield-hungry Pokemon, they're going to be forced to double shield. Oh! Why? Why didn't you shield? Maybe the opponent miscounted. I don't know what to say, but we're going to move swiftly on. We see a fight between a couple of angry birds. A very big pigeon versus, what is Toucannon? A toucan? It looks kind of like a parrot. We force the first Protect Shield, attempt to catch under Vigoroth. The catch attempt unsuccessful. The opponent is going to go for some chip and dip action. Oof. Good shield. We correctly shield the brave bird. And here comes Girafarig. Looks like the opponent a big fan of fast move pressure. But speaking of fast move pressure, Vigoroth applying plenty of it. When you hear people talk about the counter nerf, the nerf, of course, was to its energy generation. Formerly, it generated 3.5 EPT. Nowadays, it's just 3 energy per turn, but it still does so much fast move pressure. The damage is unrelenting. Vigoroth once again able to take back switch. We find ourselves in a shieldless game. We pivot into Quagsire. The opponent attempt to catch an Aqua Tail. Catch attempt unsuccessful. Kecleon gets Stone Edge to the face. Quagsire so far ahead in energy. Gonna fire off the Aqua Tail too. Aqua Tail removes Kecleon from the field of play. Back up comes Pidgeot, and the opponent is going to be forced to throw. The opponent's giant pigeon trying to put the team on its back. A little boost would be helpful. No boost does occur. The opponent forced to throw again. And I think Vigoroth's just going to be able to counter farm down. The opponent finally get the boost. Is it going to matter? Oh my gosh, I thought we'd counter farm down. Actually ends in a tie. GG's to that opponent. We see a familiar lead with yet another Fearow in the lead position. This opponent knows to lose CMP and opt to take the extra peck. They do invest to Protect Shield. Are we going to shield back? Yes, we are. I don't know if the opponent's getting a peck breakpoint, but it looks like this opponent can actually double shield if they wish and fully peck farm us down. We fire off the next drill peck. The opponent actually happy to play out the one shield scenario. We see Rangaroo enter the arena and we see the pivot into Quagsire. I'm not really sure if I like this pivot as Trailblaze, double super effective, and we are going to be forced to burn the shield. We do exactly that. Quagsire going to overfarm, look to rip off the Stone Edge and do maximum damage or force our Protect Shield back. We do force our Protect Shield back, but I'm not sure if that's good or bad for us, as this is one very healthy monkey and they're boosted too. The opponent fire off the Brutal Swing, Quagsire just about able to hang on, and fire off Aqua Tail, a nice little parting gift. We send out Vigoroth. Vigoroth going to look to counter away. We should be able to tank any one move, despite it being +1, but our health is very quickly diminishing. Vigoroth wastes no time, fires off one counter and the Body Slam before the next confusion registers, and out comes Ninetales. Ninetales going to be able to outpace to the Weather Wall, and Weather Wall will be moving us from the field of play. Down goes Vigoroth. Do we have energy on Toucannon? Oh my gosh, yes we do. We've got enough energy to outpace to the next drill peck, and somehow we're able to emerge victorious. I didn't think that one was looking too hot, but Gary was like, Jamie Finn, shut your mouth, I've got it covered. In the next battle, we see a type neutral matchup where both Pokemon hitting each other are super effective. But Bombasnow with the superior bulk, able to go for the one shield, full Powder Snow farm down. Oh, I thought we were going to snipe them there. The opponent waits to see what come in and almost get denied all of their energy. Oh, they actually survived the next counter as well, despite this being Shadow and Shadow Crime. Gary loses almost half his health and his Protect Shield too. We're not looking too hot in this battle. Out comes Sphero. We fight off the Brick Break. Brick Break forced the Protect Shield and debuffs the defense too. Quagsire not going to appreciate this Drill Peck. Drill Peck hits hard and instantly puts us below the half health. Despite them being debuffed, I don't think Aqua Tail is going to cut it, or potentially it will. I guess we're not going to find out as the opponent pivots into Swampert and Quagsire looks to rip off some energy. The first Aqua Tail is locked and loaded. Quagsire already the next one. Are we going to go for a catch or are we going to rely on Vigaroth to win this battle? There's the catch. Come on, Gary. This is going to be a tricky endgame. I don't think we Mudshot farm down in force. We're going to have to free and throw. Gary attempts the Mudshot farm down, which arguably was his win con. Unfortunately, unable to get it in this one. Does end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Quagsire in the lead position. It's kind of interesting this time around. Everyone is opting for Mudshot rather than the crappy water gun strategy we saw last time Sunshine Cup was about. The opponent chips with an Aqua Tail, then enter the mirror. We full send the Beak Blast, of course, forcing a Protect Shield, but also debuffing their attack. That should mean that Vigoroth will survive any one move. We are going to invest the Protect Shield, as a Beak Blast still would have done crazy damage. The opponent just settled for the Drill Peck. Vigoroth wastes no time, fires off the Body Slam, and looks to remove Toucannon from the field of play. The opponent invests the Protect Shield, and looks like Gary happy to match and go for the full counter farm down afterwards. This time it is the Beak Blast, but it bounces off Vigoroth's Protect Shield. Back out comes Quagsire. We farm up, return the favour, making the catch on the low health Toucannon, banking all of energy and resetting that attack debuff in the process. As we find ourselves in a shieldless game, Gary going to be very appreciative of all this energy he's got on Vigoroth. Vigoroth farms up yet more energy, fires off the Body Slam. Body Slam removes Quagsire from the field of play. Out comes a Bombasnow. Oh boy, this Snowman about to get deleted in the blink of an eye. Brick Break, super effective counters, do crazy damage. Quick snipe with a Mudshot, because why bloody not? And we take that game. In the next battle, we see probably the worst lead you could see, as this Pancake completely walled our very hard-hitting bird. Although, in fairness, a Beak Blast would probably still do around half. We save switch into Vigaroth. The opponent goes some chip action before sending out Oranguru. Oranguru greeted with the Brick Break that not only hits for neutral, but also lowers their defense. Vigoroth will not be denied, makes the Body Slam, which should be forced in the first protection of the game, and it does exactly that. We send back out Toucannon. Did we get denied there? What the heck is this? We're in season 27 and they still can't bloody get this game to work as intended. The opponent very weirdly went for the Trailblaze, looking to vamp up their attack and throw yet another Trailblaze. And let's see if I'm right. Does Beak Blast do half of this Pancake's HP? Why would you shield? Not entirely sure why the opponent shields. They would do fully wall the moveset, but it is what it is. We now see Quagsire into Cradiddy. Cradiddy greeted with a Stone Edge. Stone Edge. Massive damage. Quagsire looks to close the show. We're able to reach the Aqua Tail. Is Aqua Tail enough to knock out? Oh! I'm calling it now. This is almost certainly the Rock Tomb. Well, it's a good job Gary's playing and not me, as I would have just got one shot, but Gary's still very much in this game. We attempt the catch attempt unsuccessful. We end up feeding this Pancake yet more energy, and that might be a losing play. Can we survive back-to-back Mud Bombs? I don't think we can. It looks like the next one will actually knock us out. Quagsire fires off the first Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail isn't enough to get the job done. Do we survive this? I think we don't. We certainly do not, and unfortunately this one does end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to both trainers. In the next battle, we see Cradiddy in the lead position. Last time we saw this lead, the opponent got one shot. They fucked out. They found out that Cradiddy isn't as thick as they think, as Beak Blast is a clean one-hit KO. Much to my disappointment, this opponent invests the Protect Shield. We also going to invest the Protect Shield, shielding up the Rock Tomb. We're then going to farm up. Oof. Holy, that is such a high-risk, high-reward play. If the opponent saw us coming in, we would have got one shot, but thankfully we're able to catch the Rock Tomb that doesn't do much of anything. As nice as the catch was, it's now put us in somewhat of an awkward position. We do correctly shield the Grass Knot. We are at -1. I'm not even certain that a non-stab Stone Edge will be lethal. Stone Edge forced the Protect Shield, and they are once again going to be able to outpace, and Quagsire is about to get one shot. Grass Knot, double super effective, does secure the knockout. We now send out Vigaroth. Vigaroth looks to get a running start, and of course we do have energy on Toucannon too. Out comes Blaziken. I'm anticipating the combo play, but the combo play, it doesn't happen. We're going to settle for the body slam. Shadow body slam, not quite lethal. We've got a bank a charge move, send out the pancake. And again, this looks like a very tricky game to win. Vigoroth still quite healthy, and it looks like double body slam with the residual counters actually come very, very close to knocking out. Vigoroth going to tank the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb gets us deep into the red health range. Gary overfarms, fires off the next body slam. Body slam isn't quite lethal. We're able to snipe down, leaving with the charge move. Toucannon might have a high attack stat, but unfortunately we lose charge attack priority. Oh, I was going to say, I think we can counter farm down. Unfortunately, we get Ember farm down, and that one again ends in Heartbreak and defeat. In the next battle, we see the Shadow Toucannon mirror. We strike first, firing off the Drill Peck. The opponent farms up to a Beak Blast, but I imagine they go straight Drill Peck. They actually force in the Beak Blast, wanting to force that attack debuff. What that just does is enable us to always win the one shield scenarios. Of course, we do now have the pacing advantage. The opponent happy to double shield just to win alignment. No! They wait to see what come in and they get heartbreakingly sniped. Well, heartbreaking for them, but very nice for Gary. And I'm Team Gary, so I love to see it. Out comes the Quagman, which by no means a good matchup, especially not down a shield or behind on energy, as Vigoroth might be slower in pacing, but does win charge attack priority. As you can see there, Gary going to invest to protect shield. We could again throw 4 more counters and then throw on CMP. I actually don't dislike this play. Throw in 3. As if the opponent's smart there, they would have banked the Aquitail and looked to catch out. Out comes Kanto Ninetales, and I think there we had to instantly pivot, so we would be able to outpace to a potential energy ball by a single turn. Gary actually goes for the catch attempt, unsuccessful, and of course we've got energy ball. I've personally run Shadow Ninetales. I tried it out earlier before making this video, and I am running OV, and trust me, that brings some booms. Unfortunately, again, a heartbreaking defeat. Heading into the next one, we see an awful lead. We save switch into Vigoroth, baiting out Seismitoad. Unfortunately, Gary plays the charge attack priority that we do not win. We actually overfarms. We could have got off this body slam before we had debuff, which is kind of brutal for us. But as the opponents let it go, I think here Gary can take back switch if he chooses to. And I think switch advantage is hella important. Again, we end up playing as the charge attack priority we don't win. But as the opponent's got an advantage here, I imagine they won't shield, thinking we'll take shield advantage. Although what do I know? The opponent does invest that protect shield, double debuff. Can we farm down? Unfortunately, we cannot. But I think it's definitely worth shielding. Gary agrees and puts up that protection. We're now 3-stage debuff, but we do have switch advantage. Back out comes Steelix, Brick Break, non-stab, triple debuff, does not do much of anything. With some counters, we do get off a reasonable amount of damage, certainly putting them into Aquitail range. It's kind of interesting the opponent opts to stay in, force some chipping action. They're going to fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake hits hard, but not enough to get the knockout. The opponent then pivots into Ludicolo, and here comes Toucannon. You've got one job, buddy. Please survive a Weather Ball. Okay, we actually survived that reasonably well. The Astonishes double resisted, not doing much of anything. Toucannon fires off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck secures the knockout. Back out comes Steelix. Again, we're going to settle for the Drill Peck. Drill Peck is resisted. The opponent tanked the damage. They are able to Thunderfang farm down at Quagsire on the Glory Stint. Should be able to Mudshot farm down. Gary actually throws the Aquitail. Aquitail going to get the job done, and we take that game. We're actually able to shield poke the opponent there, despite them shielding. All charge moves do 1 damage, hence they shielded and still got knocked out. Very high IQ. In the next battle, we see Quagsire in the lead position. The opponent fire off the Aquitail. Toucannon withstands the damage, going to overfarm, fire off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck, a very easy one-hit KO. We've got residual energy, good to go. The opponent sends out Piloswine. Piloswine going to be greeted with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck force the protection. Rather than see the farm down, here comes Vigaroth. The opponent staying in at least for a while, potentially looking for some chibitive action, or potentially they are just double weak to Vigoroth. The opponent remains on the screen. Gary wastes no time, going to fire off the body slam. Body slam goes unshielded, and oh hello Furret. My, this game is completely over. Vigoroth going to fire off the Brick Break. Brick Break forces the Protect Shield. Vigoroth absolutely popping off. We attempt the catch attempt unsuccessful. We send out Quagsire. Train, if you got Trailblaze, so be it. The opponent just fires off the Swift. Swift simply not going to cut it, and the opponent is going to concede the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. Holy, shout out my boy Garrycabbage. That was so much fun. Fucking love this shoutcast. It's been a hot minute, but I forgot just how much fun I have, especially when I have no idea what's going to happen. Huge thank you to Gary for the battle submission. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. Battle submission form is linked down below. And as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.